Awesome. All right, so we stopped we stopped keeping track a long fucking time ago. I don't even know what episode this is, but all I know is that the last episode is I had the same fucking guys on, but we're here with a different band. This is
Yup.
we're running it back with Beneath Purgatory again. And this time it's a special episode because we're gonna be talking about the Redux re-release of Shredded Psyche. It is approaching its 5th anniversary. Holy shit. Like, that's
Time flies,
fucking
dude.
crazy. It's half a decade. You wrote that shit a half a decade ago.
Oh.
Minus Nolan.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I can claim that album. Ugh.
No, it's good as fuck, dog. It's good as fuck. Released October 30th of 2020. And I would imagine that the Redux is going to be released on the same day.
Day after. So
It's
it'll be
Halloween.
yeah, just because and not for like ooh, it's Halloween. Like I don't give a fuck about that. It's Fridays. Fridays are, I like releasing shit on Fridays, and it would feel weird to be like, hey guys, happy Thursday. Here's some music. Like, it's just kind of weird. So it'll be 5 years in one day since the release, which close enough.
Close enough, right? Fuck it. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Um, and what is it? Is it because it's the 5th anniversary that it made you decide like, hey, let's go back and mix and remaster all this shit, or was it something else that made you want to do it? I
Kind
want
of
to
a
know
combination.
how and why this came to be.
Yeah, it's kind of a combination of all that really. Frankly, for all right, so we'll get this out of the way. Um, we are not very fond of the original of the record. We've been on interview record before being like, yeah, dude, Psyche sucks. Um, and
Blasphemy.
sorry, bro. But like, I think back to like what Phoenix has always said about the album, he also wasn't able to make it today. But he was like, there's good stuff in there, but there's just way too much. And I feel like if it was boiled down to the essential parts of it, it would be good. Um, and that got me thinking, and that got, this has been in the works for a while. I want to say back in like 2023, I got bored after Martyr came out. I was like, I got nothing else to work on, so I guess I'll start like redoing Shredded Psyche for fun. Um, because like, we were still getting, Connor was still getting into the band, and I think there was a show that we played Unable to Escape, and there was a show that we played Spoon Fed for, and like trying to teach Connor that song to the original. The production's blown out. So I would like remix them and be like, here, just listen to this. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm curious. What if I cut out all the bullshit? Because those songs are way too long, dude, way too long. On the original, and then I was like, you know what, like this is kind of workable. We all hate the original, nobody listens to it, so like, give it another shot. Fresh mix, which I'll be honest, I did remix it. I don't love the remix of it, in the sense that like, it doesn't sound like what my quality normally would be, but I'm working with rough stems here, so I think, frankly, what we got is a miracle. And fresh mix, fresh cut to it. We trimmed the fat. I think we ended up losing about 10 plus minutes off of the original album. And I actually listened to it again this morning. It's been a minute. I listened to it to prepare while doing my housekeeping, and I think it sounds and flows so much better. And so I'm just hoping like, not a lot of people love the first one. Give this, or like the original one, give this one a try. This is, I think, a definitive version. And I think it just sounds a lot better. It's been something that we've been working on for a while. And it just feels like what the album could have or should have been in the first place. There was no reason it needed to be over 45 minutes. Yeah, so we cut it down like 10 plus minutes because nobody needs like a 45 plus minute record of this. Like, I the older I get, the more I hate long albums, which is funny because my favorite album's an hour plus. But like, so it's like there's not a lot of crazy differences between the tunes on Psyche as there is maybe a Martyr approach. So like, there is no need for it to be overstaying its welcome. Do your thing and get out. And if you can tell the whole story, the whole sound, everything you want to get out in a shorter amount of time, great, be concise. Let's not waste any time. And so I think this succeeds much more at that. And if people are willing to give Psyche another chance, this is a great way to do that.
Yeah, that's very very valid. I for the remix, remaster, and redesign, I was gonna ask you exactly what made you decide to cut certain parts aside from like because if they notice the track list is missing all the acronym tracks and it's missing that I think it's called resurfacing, right? The
Yeah.
transitional piece. Um, what deemed those unnecessary to you?
Dude, have you listened to him?
Yeah,
I God. I mean, the acronym tunes were a joke that truthfully started between Jez, Jimmy, and I, and then it comes Psyche. Like, yeah, Jimmy helped write some of Psyche, but like other than that, it was just left to me and Ian. And so it was like, all right, like, are we still doing this? Um, I actually think the acronym tune on the debut is pretty good. I think that fits perfectly on that album because it's just following like the 22 minutes of the Cold Soul. And it's our dropping our ice cream sad tunes. So then like we get into like a minute of a fast song. And I think it works beautifully there. But then it was like on Psyche, the other ones was just like, yeah, we're still making the same joke here. And it
three
didn't
times.
three times, yeah, workshopping it thrice.
Right.
Um, and we actually talked about keeping resurfacing, and just attaching it to Unable to Escape because actually, the initial plan of the album was to have them be one, and it was going to be like one 5 minute tune. And then we were like, okay, great. What does it do? What is it doing here? I mean, it's fine, cool. You want to hear badly recorded acoustic guitars for a minute? I'm sure you could find a YouTube video somewhere. So I'm sure you could find somebody sitting in mommy's basement playing an acoustic guitar. We don't have time for that here on this record. So um, just didn't think it was necessary. So it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and songs are definitely a lot shorter. I noticed like for the most I think the shortest like the most time cut from a song was definitely the title track. That one
Yeah.
was like it's like a whole minute and like 20 seconds cut from it. Um yeah, it definitely is a lot shorter. I don't have the exact runtime of it, but I was when I was doing my research for it to like see back and forth of the things and
Close to like 7 minutes now. Yeah. Instead of being like nine.
yeah, instead of being nine exactly.
Nine
But
minutes
yeah,
of Big Brown.
when well, I'll do that one later. I'll talk about that one. We'll bring that one back up. The first single you guys released for it a couple of days ago, or a couple of days ago, yesterday rather, right? Yesterday,
Yeah, actually, yeah.
yesterday. It was Rain Cold Soul 4. Um, and I was wondering why necessarily you guys chose that one to do. My theory is that is because it's a live song that you guys play.
I mean, I think that's the biggest reason is like it's easily the most played song on streaming. It's the only one that we really bother to keep in the live sets. My take is it's the best tune on the record by far. Like it's a polar bear in Arlington, Texas on that album. It's like, what did this good song do on this record? So Nolan's got his opinion.
Yeah,
He actually likes
I'll do
Psyche.
my talking later.
But I mean, it was a decision that we all it was that tune and another tune that we debated, being the first one. And we ultimately kind of decided that, you know what, like let's put the familiar out there. Because also that song is unchanged from the original. We left it as is. I mean, like to this day, like that's one of Connor's favorite BP songs. And like, I think we enjoy playing it live. It's our sound check tune if we're not playing it in a set. Um, and I think it's just like our best tune on the record. I mean, he'll have his opinions. And this is the nice thing about having Nolan here. He wasn't in the band at the time, but he
Yeah.
he he knows Psyche and he has that different connection to the original than like Ian and I do. So
Uh not in my notes necessarily, not necessarily backtracking, but back to the we talked about what was cut. Was there anything new that was brought to the mix?
Mm, in terms of adding to the songs themselves, no. New things were done in mixing. I did a little bit of cleaning up on some of the editing. Like there's a transition at the very end of Spoonfed where it's like I played the guitars on the record. I played the drums, obviously. Um, and Ian did the bass. And on the original, the very last transition to the ending, both guitars, the bass, and the drums were all horrendously off time with each other. And Ian and I were like, well, we suck, and then like kept it. So all I did, I was like, all right, let's like actually go slightly line it up a little bit. Like, come on, let's make it not sound terrible. Like my drum fills in the beginning of Pit of Despair were horrendously off time, amateurish as best. Like, no matter how many sports watches I had on my wrist, I couldn't keep the time. So I made sure to line that up a little
So
bit better.
much.
And other than that though, like mixing, I did actually I triggered the kick. Whoa.
Oh,
But like I tried not to make it sound like some clicky typewriter shit. Like it just the way that the drums were engineered originally made for a really tough remix. Um, they worked at the time, but I mean, it was like the problem we had with Grisly Spectacle is like, the room was a little rough. With Grisly in particular, I was recording with a fucking refrigerator right behind me, and so the hum is running through the entire album. I tried to EQ it out, but it's still there a little bit. But so like the drum engineering was a little tough. And the kick drum, I wasn't tuning my kick at the time. I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna sample replace it, but I wasn't gonna make it sound all clicky. But that's really the biggest thing I did. I kind of like I floated the idea of have Nolan do the vocals. Let's get, Phoenix doing solos or something like that. But then like why go a half measure? Let's just re-record the whole album and we don't have time for that. We got an actual record we're working on. So this is what we went with.
well, yeah. For some reason, I thought that Nolan added some vocals in certain parts. It sounded like, I don't know. Definitely sounded like there was like added layers to it on top
Oh,
of the old stems.
I did do that. I picked up this trick from college. My old advisor and professor, John Fryermuth, shout out to him. He did that. He helped me work on that remix of "Mourning Myself." That's still up there, and admittedly, I don't love it at all. But like, I learned a lot of tricks from it, and again, that's just another fault of terrible stems. Again, you're spit shining shit, so it becomes tough. But um, the one thing he said, like with my voice, is like it's so like thin and just like bad. That like what you can do is like double the voice and pitch shift it down and kind of bury it in the mix. So like it sticks out like a tiny bit, but it's mostly to add that body that my voice is kind of missing pretty bad because I mean I sound like a prepubescent bitch on the original, and this gives me a little bit of body that my voice was kind of missing. And of course going forward in future records when we have like an actual vocalist on the album, like that won't be an issue. But this was kind of like a little bit of a backtrack to fix the sound a little bit without necessarily adding any new recordings.
I guess that's probably what I heard then. It definitely
Yeah.
sounded more full, from the vocals. I was gonna ask you about next the difficulties of the reduxing, the remixing, and the remastering. What were some difficulties you faced during it, aside from quotes, remix was like spit shining shit.
And I think I did text you that too when I sent it to you. I was like, oh dude, like
When I read that shit, I fell out of my chair. I threw my phone out of my hand. I was like, "Yo, where the fuck did he come up with this shit?" Not to get all sidetracked too, but when we were talking about upheaval. I'm pretty sure it was the end of Plane of Decay when that last blast beat. You were like, "Yeah, it's just like it's what that song is like." It was like the last pull of Tying Shoes. I said, "Where the fuck do you come up with this shit, dude?" The last pull
oh
of Tying
man.
Shoes. I've never heard no one say that shit. No one.
I still think of the last pull of tying shoes. I've never said that in my life, and I never said it again. I don't know where that came
There
from.
was some other really funny line that you had, like some analogy in that same interview. I can't remember what it
Oh
was
God,
though.
probably.
Yeah, I gotta go back. It's funny.
That
Uh,
fucking line has stuck in my head ever since that day. Yeah, it's like the last pull of
yeah.
tying shoes.
Oh God. Well, to with spit fuck with spit shining shit on this. The drums were tough. I explained a bit about the drums, and the interesting thing about this is because we only had 8 mics to work with, and dummy me shows up to the recording studio, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I've got 3 rack toms, I got 2 floor toms, and I got another one to the right. To the left, and the dude's like, I can't mic that, dog. I have 8 mics. So both floor toms to my right were caught by one microphone. My floor tom to the left was caught by one mic, but we also were like, all right, we have to kind of get a little bit more because we only had one center overhead that was in mono. So we set those mics to the side, not on the drum, but further back to try and get a little bit of a stereo sound of the cymbals. And I played around with that for the remix, but I just didn't think it sounded good. So the cymbals are in mono, and you frankly can't really tell. I kind of tried to widen them out a little bit. Um, but like whatever. I Warcastle, shout out to them. Mark does all the drum production in mono, and it sounds fine. I'm not a fan of that at all, but like Mark can mix it to mono pretty well. So I like it works great. I do like my stereo drums, and I got that in the toms, but um, it wasn't working in this case. The guitars and bass were really tough. One thing I changed from Psyche and Grisly to Martyr was how I recorded the guitars. I record stems blank, and then we'll go reamp it afterwards. And we're actually working on reamping here for the fifth album shortly, so that'll be all coming together. But back then I was like, oh, dude, I got this sick plugin for free online. Let's record the guitars through that. It's like we're stuck. That's it. So I ran them back through some other cabs, played around with some mic angles and shit.
So it was a straight like DI track. It sounded like a fucking unplugged guitar.
That's what I do now is I record straight
Oh,
unplugged
okay.
guitar, and
Okay.
we'll run it through amps afterwards. Because we're all living in apartments,
Yeah.
and like we live in 4 different states, and so like recording the new record, 3 different states at this point now. You're not in Vermont anymore.
Oh yeah.
And so like we have to do a lot of our recording just like on our own and then shoot it over to me. To keep things consistent, we will pick a day to do the reamping, but do the recording in your own spot. But back then it was like, yeah, record it into this fake plugin. Great. Um, so I sent them back through some cabs and tried to space it out a little bit, and I think that worked well. And the bass was tricky because Ian's bass in particular has such a high treble frequency on the pick. Like if you hear the stems of Psyche, all you hear is like a pick scraping. And we really tried to work that back out. Um, so I added some distortion to the bass to kind of fill it out a little bit. But I mean, there was a lot of challenges. I mean, again, the stems were terrible. So being able to get this sound out of this record, I was pleased with.
What were your favorite songs to remix?
No, 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 I'm kidding. My favorite songs to remix. Honestly, like the ones I did the most cutting for. Like remixing Rain, it was like whatever. Like that song's staying the same. I didn't touch anything with Dementia or Pit of Despair. I just cut out the acoustic intro. Like
Yep.
Unable to Escape, I didn't really do anything. But like it was songs that got big changes. F.T.D. Austin Warcastle adores that song, and I used to hate it. It was like 4.5 minutes. Nolan loves it too.
That song is
My
fucking
solo,
banger.
I say that now. The solo I hated, and it just felt so needless and just like, yeah, man, put a solo there. And now it's like it didn't need that. It's a crossover thrash tune, right? It's like that chicken skanking shit that you would like want from a nuclear assault record. So cut out the chicken skanking. Yeah, so cut out I which by the way, we don't know what that is. chicken skanking. It shout out Jack. Actually, he'll be here fairly soon. So he might pop in the interview.
I
First
love
order.
Jack. I miss Jack.
Cursed Ordinance, yeah, Cursed Ordinance appearance. Yeah, if we're still on, you'll be able to say hi to him. He's heading on over now, but um, he was watching Sea of Tranquility, Hudson Valley Squares. Shout out to Sea of Tranquility. Pete Pardo, old dude. He talks like music and shit. And some guy was just saying something like, "Yeah, I remember watching, was it like SOD or something? I remember
Something
learning,
like that.
listening to SOD and Overkill, learning how to chicken skank." And it was like the first time we ever heard it. And Jack did a bunch of research and can't figure out what it is. So now,
Yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere else on the internet.
What the fuck?
One person just dropped the term chicken skank with like no explanation.
so that's it. So yeah, anytime you got that kind of like violence, eternal nightmare type thrash, or that nuclear assault, game over type thrash, like you're just chicken skanking, man, and that's just FTD is purely that. And so cut out the solo. It sounds so much tighter. And now I'll admit it's a good tune. I hate the lyrics, but it's a good tune. Um, Same with like Viral Negligence had a lot of fluff. Cut that out. Sounds like a really fun song. Burning Sun lost a lot of time, which was great. That song was way too long. Now that fits very well. That was the fun part. Was let's see what we can make out of this. That I really enjoyed, and it was a pain to do, but it was like awesome, like hearing it all come together. Because like I'm cutting up drum stems. That's really like tough to do, is to like cut up a drum stem and just be like, yeah, it sounds like one performance. So yeah, that was the best part.
Burning Sun is I think it's my personal favorite off that album. I fucking love that shit so much. Oh, that shit is
Well, so can I ask you, because
so gas.
I know you like that tune a lot. How do you feel about the cut then? Because we cut so much from that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it's like it's good. Like you said, it's all, it all depends on how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that song the way it is. I like the way you did it in the remix remaster. I think of it like a giant block of marble, and you just gotta chisel out the masterpiece. You know, yeah, chisel it out. But no matter what, that song is still fucking awesome. And I was gonna ask you guys what your favorites were from that album. Mine is definitely Burning Sun, Dementia, and I think Viral Negligence. Those are my top three, I think. And then FTD being close fourth.
Yeah, I'm a FTD absolute chicken skank classic. It's such a ripper, dude. I love that song. And Viral Negligence too. Dude, the part right
Yep.
after the I guess you consider it the chorus, where it just
Yeah,
goes
right.
back to
Yeah, I
the
fucking
bass.
love that shit.
That little bass line at the end. Oh, it's Chef's Kiss. I love that song. And Spoon Fed Bullshit. I love that one. The one I think it's like what
What are you soy jacking for?
I have it in my notes here. I wanted you to finish talking about your favorites, but Spoonfed is my least favorite Beneath Purgatory song ever.
really?
Over the demos.
Dude, what?
Well, all right, on the studios.
Okay.
My
Okay.
least favorite studio song.
Huh. I think that's a great tune. It's a great black thrash tune. The one that show it was like a one-off show where I filled in on bass with BP. The
I remember
first time
that.
I did with the band. Yeah, we played that song. It was like the one time the song was ever played live.
Yeah.
Play it for
And
the
like
one time.
yeah. Yeah, so I remember learning that one and having a lot of fun playing it. So that's one that I'm always fond of. And then I mean Rain, I guess you can't really argue it's probably the best tune on the album. But we play it so much now. Like I like to go back and listen to the deeper cuts and stuff. Yeah, I like Burning Sun a lot as well. It's got the old like the groove kind of reminds me of like an old
Yep.
Megadeth song or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Psyche was
true.
my let's discover the original mixes of Megadeth phase and realize just how good those songs were. Because fuck the 2004 remix.
But like mixed with the black metal too, though. So it's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get into my whole shredded psyche thoughts and tangent later on, but yeah, those are my favorite tunes.
Yeah. And Rain, obviously. Um, that was a song I felt maybe the most proud of once I wrote it back, at that time. And I think I knew that I had like finally written, like, oh, this song isn't terrible. Good. Okay, I feel good about this. I know Ian loves the title track. And
It's a
he's
good
actually
song.
been kind of advocating for it to come out live, which I'm not opposed to, but we got a lot of learning to do. But I would say Rain, and honestly, yeah, I now that I've got the new version of FTD, yeah, I've come around to the Chicken Skank legendariness of that tune. Pit of Despair will always hold a soft spot for me, but like,
I
um,
forgot to say that one.
yeah, with a fake fan.
Yeah,
um,
that's a great tune.
I'm like that one will always hold a spot. I mean, that was the first proper single we ever really released. I guess there was technically a demo single that we did in like 2018, but like,
Bit
you
of
know,
despair, right?
yeah, Pit of Despair was first tune to hit radio in Hartford, which was awesome. And I mean, yeah, that's a cool song. I'm also well aware that when I was writing it, I was like, dude, Void of Hopelessness is so good. Let's do it again. So I mean, it's obviously very similar, but it was fun. So I think I think Rain and FTD I think are my picks. I someday I'm debating. I don't know. The original version of Burning Sun still sits in my mind. Not the original version from Psyche, but the original version that Jez helped write. Um,
Even
Completely
I didn't
different.
know that. We I don't even think we talked about that in the first BP interview.
I don't think we did.
I didn't know there was an original version of Burning Sun.
The first song that was written for BP2, the whole plan at the time, it was early 2020. I mean, this was like January. Um, our plan was we're gonna write a record and we're gonna get in the studio and do it just like we did last year, for BP1 for the self-titled. And like we wrote the self-titled all in a couple sittings and wrote it in the studio actively and then would go record it. And so like that was kind of our plan again. And we started record. We actually have a recorded version with like MIDI drums, that has Jez on guitar, that has Jimmy on bass, that has us on both Jez and I on vocals, with the same Burning Sun lyrics, just all the riffs were different. Um, and I actually liked that version of the song a lot, but we left it. Um, I felt weird after Jimmy and I were like, yeah, we're gonna move on from Jez. I felt weird trying to put that song back on. So Jimmy and I wrote the lyrics, so we were fine putting that back. Because again, he had a part in writing Psyche. Like Dementia, he had a part in Burning Sun. He had a part, and he actually wrote that main verse riff and the chorus to Burning Sun. He just didn't record it. You know, that was peak COVID time. He couldn't find a way to record, and get that over to us. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna focus on my other stuff." But Jimmy was a part of Shredded Psyche for sure. So we felt fine putting the lyrics back on and all that. But yeah, there is a version of Jez, recorded for this second album. And frankly, Jez's best guitar solo was done on that original, Shredded Psyche. The tone of the guitar was incredible, on that solo. And yeah, that version of the tune is maybe one of my favorites from Psyche that was never even done or released.
There's no
So,
shot you still have it though.
oh, I still have it.
Oh, you gotta definitely send it to me. I would love to hear that.
I'll send it to you. I don't throw it anywhere. I don't know if I want to like, put it out for people to hear it or if that seems exploitative. And that's what I'm still trying to balance because I don't want to be exploitative, but also like I want people to be able to hear. Also, I mean, it sounds terrible because it's MIDI drums and it was mixed horribly. But like I don't want it to be like, yo, look what this person we're gonna profit off of them doing. Like, I don't want it to be like that. But I want people to be able to hear what it was just out of like curiosity. So yeah, I'll send it to you, Steven. I have no problem with that. I don't know if I'll put it out or not. I have to kind of sit on that and really reflect on that a bit more. I mean, it's been a while at this point, but still, I would just feel icky if anybody took it that wrong way. So I kind of want to avoid that.
Yeah, no, I definitely that's valid. And I ain't gonna send this to no one. Same thing with the that new I got earlier this morning, but we'll talk about that later. Um, since you like to slander Shredded Psyche so much, what's your least favorite song on the album?
Oh no, I'm kidding. What would be my least favorite tune? It might be the title track at this point, which at one point was my favorite, but I just don't know if the way it was recorded gives across the sound that I had envisioned when I was making it. And so I'd imagine that song would sound good if we did it now. Um, if I tried rewriting it again instead of just cutting it up. But it might be that one. It is long. It feels out of place almost on the record. Um, what?
Wouldn't necessarily say it feels out of place. It's the last song on the album. I feel like it's like this the album's like the epic tune to end the album. I feel like it's like you say out of place. I feel like it's perfectly placed on the album.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess there's that thrash section in there that can kind of pull it back-ish, but like I mean I look at it in the same way as to like the song The Martyr Approach, the title track of that album was
Yeah,
for Grisly and was supposed to be on Grisly, and it was one of the 8 tunes that made it. Um, and I mean that song would have been way out of place on
I
Grisly,
think
especially
so.
at the time it was 13 plus minutes, that original version. That was going to be on Grisly, and we ended up cutting it for Your Death My Bliss and Gertrude. We put those two on instead of that. And I think that was unequivocally a much better move because then also if we didn't put it on there, we were able to make the full album, The Martyr Approach. But
Right.
I view the title track as Psyche kind of like what would have happened if we put Martyr on Grisly. So
That's a good way to put it. That's definitely a good way to put it. I like that song though. That's like really, really good. What about you, Nolan? I'm asking if you have a least favorite song. I know this guy he hates the album, but do you have a least favorite track on the album?
Um, Off the top of my head, no. I I've always kind of had the same thoughts as Logan on the album. Like I'm really like, well, I guess not the same thoughts because getting Logan to say anything but good about this album is like pulling teeth. But
good analogy.
yeah, I've always really liked the bulk of the album, but I guess some of the really short tunes that were like in between, like the acronym songs and all that, I would probably say are my least favorites, just because yeah, I've just been more fond of the like the actual bulk of the album.
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, off the top of my head, I wouldn't pull a specific least favorite, but yeah, I will say that though.
Yeah,
Do you want?
me, my.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you first. I know what I'm gonna say.
I know, but I'm about to create a tangent, so you go.
Yeah, my least favorite song is Spoon-Fed Bullshit. I don't know why.
Oh,
Like,
Dude, please
it's just
dive
like
into that. Why do you hate that song?
yeah.
yeah. The first time I listened to the album too, I noticed I was like, yeah. It's just I don't know. It's a weird song to kick off the album. It like put a weird taste in my mouth. I'm not too fond of that opening riff and the drum beat and the chorus, but the rest of the song fucks. I love when it like like when it switches the riff and then that riff like 2 minutes into it like something like
Oh
that.
yeah, the bass is like moving and everything.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
the rest of the song, but there's just something about that. I
Dude,
don't
that's the best
know.
part of the song for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Really? Oh my god, I don't know. It's just that was always like my least favorite like
that's
BP
hilarious.
riff slash song. I don't know. It just never meshed with me. I don't know.
All right. Well, then what's your least favorite aside from Spoon Fed? That was too easy.
Oh, you know, I would probably be tied between, like you said, probably like if we're talking least favorite, which none of them are like my least favorite. They're all great, but like probably the title track or maybe dare I say Pit of Despair. Those are like
Sure.
two that are like towards the bottom of my list if I rank the album from best to worst.
Sure.
Yeah, but Pit of Despair was like one that I listened to a lot. I listened to that one a lot because I had that Upside Summer comp and Pit of Despair was on
Yes.
there. So I
Oh,
played that album all the time and that was the only BP song on it.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Yeah,
grab it. I got it over here.
I remember that. That was cool back in summer of 2021, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna
Oh,
pull
you
it out
got
too.
yours?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Logan's gonna grab his.
Right underneath the Wichita Hangman, 555, exit 555.
Oh, good album.
Boom.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh,
back in
fuck
the
it.
day.
Back in the day.
It's in here somewhere.
Serpent's Return, Cancer.
Twisted Mantra.
Oh my god, I haven't heard that name in
Yeah,
forever.
that's a throwback.
Twisted Mantra, Human Bathed in Fire. Who the fuck is that? Yup.
Yeah.
I gave myself the fat case.
Oh, look at that. You got the fat case. I got the
Yeah,
slim
there's only
case.
like 2 songs on there that have like it's not even a typo, but it just doesn't have a like a period after the number, and mine is one of them. Bathe in Fire does not have. I think it's like track 4, right?
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
you have
no period.
no quotation.
Oh no,
Uh,
quotation. That's what it was. It was
same with
something.
the Busted Lip tune.
Yeah, you remember that?
Dude, you know what's funny? There's only actually most of these bands I'd say are still together. McTane doesn't really go by McTane anymore. The name
No.
changed. Harvest Manipulation, and we're working on the record, bro.
Yeah, yeah, you could say that.
Yeah,
You could
yeah, we're
say that.
working on it.
It's been a
Yeah,
while.
it's been a while. Twisted Mantra isn't around anymore. Humans obviously around. BP, who? Busted Lip died. Rip Busted Lip. Collective Brutality. Ooh.
Remember
Throwback to
that?
that.
That was an
Oh, I
era.
remember that. Sean and I saw each other not too long ago. We talked about finishing that second record that's all written.
Not to get all sidetracked, but if it wasn't for me asking, like when you put out that album and you had the artwork and the logo, I was like, I messaged you because we bonded over Death
Oh yeah,
all those years ago. I was
way
like,
back in the day, like 10 years ago.
something like that. Yeah, it was like 2016, no, or 2017,
Yep,
almost 10
about
years
around
ago.
there.
Fucking crazy. You were patient
No,
zero for me for my whole entry into the thing. But I
so
asked
sorry.
you. I asked you. I was like, yo, that logo is fucking sick. That artwork is fucking sick. Who did that? You're like, Mark. This guy, Mark. I'll give you his Instagram.
Ever heard of
That
him?
was it. That was it, dog. He did my human logo. He did the Black album cover, and that was
Yeah,
it. And then
I love the Black
through
Album over there.
through learning about Upside, I discovered Necralant, which is like the first band on the label that I discovered, and like that set, like I was,
Yeah,
because originally this was like 2019, right, when you released that album, because
2020,
it was okay.
I think.
Okay, no, you're right. 2020. You're right. 2020. Because before Black, I was gonna go to Upside and record my death metal album when Human was still in like that. I don't know what the fuck I want to do with Human era. I was doing
No, I like Anthrax and Obituary.
yeah, like both. And I was gonna record the Eaten Alive album there, and I lost like all the fucking songs except for like 4 of them. And then I heard Necrolant, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make black metal now.
Oh yeah, I still will forever love that Black EP.
Thank you.
That'll always be one of my favorite releases of this New England black metal scene. And technically, you aren't even from New England. You get counted. You're in.
No, I'm from New York. I'm the exception.
No, no,
Speaking of
New
5-year
England scene.
anniversaries, January is going to be 5 years since I dropped that, and then also before that is going to be Necroland self-titled. Isn't that reaching his 5 year?
Yeah, October 17th will be 5 years. That's crazy.
October 17th.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, that's right. It was a late release. Holy shit.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it wasn't long after hearing that album. I think the first song I heard was "To Dust," and I was like, "This is fucking heat! Like this is the best shit I've ever heard."
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, not to
Necklace.
get all off track. You
Um,
totally just went off track there.
oh fuck it, we're throwing it back. Pause.
Yeah.
I will say, Nolan, I want to hear your Psyche preamble that you
Yeah,
or
yeah. I'm
Oh
all out of
yeah.
notes here.
that you.
So basically, what are your thoughts?
Okay, yeah, so my ramble isn't actually that exciting, but
Oh,
I'll dive into it. Yeah,
build
so
it up.
I remember very vividly when the Pit of Despair single came out. And I remember hearing it, I was like, dude, this is fucking awesome. I was like, the production actually sounds like very very well done. It was like creepy, like everything was audible, but it was still like raw sounding, but it sounded like it was recorded like professionally, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like I remember just really enjoying the song too. And then when the album came out, I was like, oh, this is sick. It's black thrash, and it was different than what I had heard BP doing before because I had seen BP live once at Frozen Massacre 2020.
Love that
Oh
It
shit.
was
shit.
yeah, the first show I ever went to in the scene. BP headlined at Remedy Music, and yeah, so when that came out, I was like, ah, this is really cool to do like a black thrash kind of thing, but they still have those riffs and all that. And then when they did the Frozen Massacre 2021 like live stream thing, and Logan was responding to people typing in comments. I remember typing in, I was like, "Where did you guys record Shredded Psyche? Like, it sounds really good." Logan's like, "Oh, it was recorded in someone's basement or something." And I was like, "Oh wow." And then I was like, "Is the pit of despair a relative to the void of hopelessness?" And yeah, it's like stupid comments.
A little too relative.
Yeah, yeah, and you're like, yeah, they're cousins or something. But yeah, so I've always been a quite an enjoyer of the album, but I do agree with what Logan's always said about it, like trimming down some of the fat and getting like just to the core of it, not
The core.
yeah, not to use the word core in the context, but yeah,
Metal's like an apple, brah. Fuck that.
yeah, anything but the core.
Anything but the core.
That's good as fuck. Metal is like an
Yeah.
apple.
Oh yeah, and then when Logan and I started hanging out more, you would always bash the production on Shredded Psyche. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I think it sounds great. I think those songs are great. But that's just my 2 cents.
A quick aside on top of that too. I was talking to Nolan about this the other day. Um, the day that we discussed me joining Necralant was the first time that he could come to my place to hang, and it was him, it was Andy, and it was our buddy Jake. And Jake had already left. Andy was passed out on the couch. It was like 3 in the morning, and Nolan got off a phone call, or no, it was like before you had a phone call or something like that. We were arguing about Shredded Psyche because I was just dogging it. He goes, "Put Psyche on. I want to listen to it." So we put it on, and he goes and takes the phone call of Jack being like, "Yeah, I'm out of Necralant." And during the entirety of listening to Shredded Psyche again and arguing about the production, we're talking about me joining Necralant. So it'd be like, "Oh, dude, this song sounds like shit, man. I hate this production." So yeah, I'd probably be able to do like 3 or 4 shows every two couple months. Oh, dude, yeah, the guitar's right here. It's so out of tune. Yeah, what songs do you want to play when I'm joining? I could probably do like a few. Like I could learn this by that. Oh God, my voice sounds terrible here. Like that was like what the discussion was like.
That's fucking great. That's
Oh
fucking
man,
funny as hell. Yeah,
good old.
no, I fucking love the album too. And for a while, I had Shredded over Grizzly. For
Oh
a while.
God.
For a while. I don't know. But I had to
Like,
truly give Grizzly that attention it needed, the full listen. And yeah, I think that album is definitely better than Shredded, but Shredded is still near and dear to me.
Yeah, Grizzly's that very personal record for me that I like also think helped create the sound of what BP is.
Yeah.
Songs like Mourning Myself, Surrounded by Sorrow really set the groundwork for the sound of the Martyr Approach and the sound of the new record. I actually think, spoiler alert, I actually think the new record is way closer to Grisly Spectacle than it is Martyr Approach.
Yeah.
Um, and so I love Grizzly. I think it sounds rough production wise, but I almost think it works. Whereas like the original Psyche mix just sounded like airy and unfocused, but like everything is so in your face and Grizzly and so harsh that it almost works for some of the tunes. Um, so yeah, to me it's uncomparable. I think Grizzly was the first record where we finally got our sound.
Yeah. Definitely. No, Grizzly, I needed to give that a proper listen because like yeah, like you said, those songs on there are definitely like you said, in your face, and it's much different than the Shredded songs. The song structure, the riffs, and all that. Like like you said, Surrounded by Sorrow. That's one of my favorites. Mourning Myself. That was like the single that I heard. Like you dropped like 2 different versions of that of uh of that one.
Technically three, actually.
3.
The because normally like release a single, it's the same song that you're gonna hear on the record. Um, the original single of Mourning Myself was not mastered, and that was a good thing.
Born style.
Yeah, Plagueborn. So yeah, same with Plagueborn with Necroland. That wasn't mastered either. But like, um, I really didn't know what I was doing production wise. If you couldn't tell by the sound of the damn thing. So my mastering was putting a sound goodizer on it and just going, yep, crank it. So I had it was like a bounced mix of Mourning Myself, and it's way less compressed. That's the original single, and then the album version came out, and then it was that remix. So there's 3 versions of the fucking song, and I think none of them sound good.
Yeah, no, that album's fucking awesome. And yeah, Shredded's a fucking album too, and I'm glad that it's getting the remaster remix that it truly deserved. Like you said, it was bloated.
Yeah.
Now he slimmed it down a lot. Took 5 years, but
Yeah.
but it's great, and I'm glad it's being done because, like you said, people give it the chance that it deserves. To have a whole new light on it. Especially what about the fucking people that haven't even listened to it? You know what I'm saying? This will be the first time listening to it. They'll go back and listen to the old ones and be like, oh, But
Well,
I'm also the kind of guy. Same thing with like with the host of a Black Mass and what was it, Descending? Those 2 re-recorded ones. They sound
yeah.
great. They sound fucking amazing. They sound great. But I prefer those originals. I
Really?
prefer,
Fuck you,
yeah.
big fan. Fuck you.
What about Essence of Life Devoured?
Yeah, that's just like that's another one too. I also prefer the original demo version of that song.
Yeah.
I truly do. And
That's funny. Yeah, because to me, like the re-recordings are like the definitive versions where we
For
like,
all of those
Yeah.
yeah,
songs.
where we like corrected the mistakes. But I guess
yeah,
Okay, bro.
I know.
there's just something about that rawness. And I'm not saying they sound bad. They sound fucking great. They sound awesome. But I love that raw sound. Like
Mhm.
it's something that just like you'll like. I can't say never, but you'll never be able to like recreate that sound or feeling that was going into it at the first time you did it.
Yeah, I've come around a lot on the original Essence of Life Devoured, I will say.
I gotta listen to it again. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love that tune. I would love to play it live, just saying.
Essence is
Um,
it's still my number one favorite Necrolant song. I think. I
Good
think I would
tune.
put that number one. Yeah, that's the best tune. Even
Wow.
even after all the Plagueborn, Upheaval songs. But Upheaval still like that's like, like I've always said not to be like an Anthony Fantano type character, but like Necrolant is always been my favorite New England band. I will meat ride the fuck out of the self-titled. I'll meat ride the fuck out of the sophomore that I can't remember off the top of my head. Temples.
Big fan, big fan.
Big fan. And the split was fucking awesome too, Cosmic Gallows. But in my opinion, they're not 10 out of 10s. You know what I'm saying? You got the Ferament track, which is like it's like
That's the best tune.
that just I feel like that was like that's like one of the acronym tracks. It just I feel like it just didn't fit there. Same thing with what you call it? Temples. I keep forgetting the name. Temples. The As We Wander track was great. It was great, but I feel like it could have used vocals.
I agree on that. I agree on
If it
that.
had vocals, that would have been fucking awesome. And Cosmic Gallows has like the intro track, right? Or is it intro track? It's a track before the songs.
Intro to Essence,
Intro to Essence. No.
right? Like the
Are you
song
thinking of
Cosmic Gallows.
Cosmic Gallows, the song, the title track?
Yeah, it goes into
There's
Essence.
some sort of. Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Unless you're thinking about the 5.5 Rat side, which had an intro and
No,
outro.
no, yeah, that one does have an intro and outro, but yeah, no, I think it is the Cosmic Gallows tune. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to re-listen to it again. But either way, I think that Upheaval. Why am I blanking on this shit? I feel such a big fan. Upheaval is finally that 10 out of 10 album that Necrolant has been going to put out. It was gonna happen. It was gonna happen eventually, and it finally happened. Like Upheaval, I've listened to that album just about 50 fucking times between, release to now. Just the other day me and Isaac did a Lavender News show, and on the
Oh,
way
yeah.
to the
Fuck yeah.
show, I lost service. So I got to put on shit that I have downloaded. Well, what did I put on? Upheaval. I listened to that shit all the way through. And
Nice. Yeah. Yeah,
that
I mean, when
album,
Logan joined the band, we were just very set. We're like, we're doing an album. Like, we're doing something. Like, we're finally gonna make just like the definitive
and it's
release.
e-
Like, yeah.
and it's even like the album and the riffs and everything is good. Like, and I hear the live clips. It sucks you don't have a rhythm guitarist, and it sucks you barely have a bass player. But Logan, your drumming live sounds way better than the album. I feel like you're doing some shit that is not
Really?
on the album. Like that shit sounds so fat.
Okay, I will say, I learned a new trick. Um, brief aside, I met, the band Holy Terror? They were a thrash band in the 80s. Classic thrash
Fake metal
band.
fan.
Oh God, this guy doesn't even have a pure heart of metal. No, so Holy Terror, they were an 80s thrash band. Well, so my summer job is doing, filming with the NFL or whatever. And we got stuck in North Carolina for 3 days. The show ended up having to get moved. And so I'm in North Carolina for 3 days. I'm like, oh God, what do I do? I'm not going to get a hotel. My aunt and uncle, who I haven't seen in like a decade, lived in the area. So I stayed with them. And I'm talking with them, just shooting the shit.
I remember this. I remember seeing
Okay,
the
yeah.
post about the guy from Holy Terror.
Yes. Yeah, casually, my aunt, the sweetest little Southern belle, was childhood best friends with the drummer of Holy Terror from the 80s, Joe Mitchell. And I'm like, dude, what? And so yeah, like Joey Mitchell's dad like lives next door or whatever. And so she was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna text him, see if he wants to come over for a drink and chat. And Joey and I got chatting it up, and he was tight with the Dark Angel dudes back in the 80s, and he's still very close friends with DRI. Shout out to that. But he was telling me that Gene Hoglan back in the day, before they would go play a show, would take like 6 gas station energy pills right before a show, which is like the equivalent of 36 cups of coffee or some bullshit. And that's how he would play so fast. And I don't usually do a lot of doing anything before a show. Maybe I'll have like a beer. I'm not, I mean, again, I don't really partake in substances in the first place. And then I'm not much of a caffeine guy. So I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. He might be cooking. I'm chugging a Red Bull before the show, and I'm seeing the last Necralant show we did. I cranked a Red Bull and a coffee before the show, and my girlfriend went to the show, and she like got a video of me playing like Plane of Decay, and I'm like, dude, I am never doing those blasts again. I have never been that fast. And like meanwhile, I'm sitting there being like, oh, dude, I'm lagging. I got to go a little faster. And my heart rate was probably at 900 BPM. Like I think that's just the secret is I just need to like overdose on caffeine. Um,
Yeah. No, it's fucking awesome. Those like especially like the last show that you guys did, and I saw those clips. I think I swiped up. I said, "You are a fucking machine. You're a fucking machine, dog. Like, holy shit." And yeah,
uh,
like
thank Red Bull for that one. Gives
it's
me
sponsored by Red Bull.
Gives you lactose as well.
It gives you black nurses wings.
It, that was good. That was good
Well
as fuck.
done.
That was good as fuck.
Uh,
Fuck jumping out of an airplane. Just play blast beats. Come on.
yeah. Oh yeah. We're on gas station energy pills and shit.
But,
Yeah. Go
but yeah,
moral of the story. Go ask your aunt that you haven't seen in a decade. Know any 80s thrash bands, bro? They will
yeah,
say yes.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah.
Anyways, from going like I said, that 10 out of 10 that you guys finally got with Upheaval. That's how I felt like with Martyr Approach. Martyr Approach is like the first 10 out of 10. Um, and I'm not so vastly listening to the music as much anymore, but at the time, Martyr Approach was the first 10 out of 10 New England album I've ever heard from the scene.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Seriously.
like from start to finish, like that shit is a 10 out of 10. I did that fake ass Anthony Fantano review
That shit
where I
cracks me up too.
you remember that with the AI
Like,
voice?
That cracked me up.
Beneath the Purgatano here. That shit's fucking dumb. But yeah. Yeah, no, we felt way off topic. You know, shredded was the topic. What is the future for Beneath Purgatory?
The band's done.
We're done. We're out. Yeah. Tor has won. We're done.
Yeah.
No, we new record soon. I sent you a clip of a song this morning. And I much in the way that I think Martyr was a jump from Grisly, I think this is a big jump from Martyr. I mean, I'm not going to spoil the record or anything, but I think this is a lot more well crafted. And Martyr was a three-piece album. Martyr was the same lineup of Grisly. It was Ian, Phoenix, and I. This is the five of us. Connor is on here. Nolan is on here. This album was crafted a lot more collaboratively than before. And I think you can tell that this is a band that is gelling and firing on all cylinders in comparison to where Martyr was. And we finally figured out what we like, what we don't like, what we want to do, what we don't want to do. So if you're looking for any of those beatdown riffs from Martyr Approach, get lost. If you're looking for some focused black and thrash attack with some death metal, and this is where you'll be. So I mean,
Yeah. I can say this without being too biased because even though I do scream on the album, I didn't write any of the music for it. But so I can say this is the best BP album so far, this new album. Not like it's certainly not the best by like a long shot because I like all the other BP albums too, but this is it's my favorite personally.
well, obviously I agree. I think this is the best one for sure. But like I think, and don't get me wrong, like I love the Martyr Approach. But like the biggest differences here is, we've got a legit singer on the album now. We've got, it's the missing piece that the Martyr Approach has, Ian and I shouting our throats off, and now it's like we actually got somebody who knows what they're doing when they have a microphone in their hand. And it fits the music better. And what I also appreciated about Nolan's vocal performances was that um, he isn't just sounding like his Necralant self. Like his voice is working to fit what BP has been and what BP is trying to do. And so you're not just going to hear like, well, at this point it's just Necralant. Well, no, I mean, first of all, again, he didn't write any of the music. I didn't really write any of the music on Necralant. We both would talk with each other about, hey, trim this, move this, but neither of us wrote riffs for each other. They are very separate projects. And it's been great to see where each member, each piece is able to put in their influence and tie everything together. And like having Connor on this record is awesome because the way that Connor and Phoenix play and the way that they sound really works well with each other. They're such different players. Um, the guitars that they're playing, the style that they play, the tones that they're getting, they gel so perfectly with each other. Like you feel like it's so much bigger. It's almost like you want them as far away as possible in terms of style, because then it just feels like you're getting overwhelmed with one sound of everything going on. And both their performances are fantastic. So
Yeah. That's
It's pretty
fucking
much like
awesome.
yeah, as far as the sound, it's like the black metal parts of Martyr Approach and Grisly, but just like way more evil.
yeah,
Yeah.
and a little bit of chicken skanking is back. We're thrashing it up a little
Yeah.
bit. So this feels like take the best piece of all of the past BP records and really craft it well. That's what it'll be.
Well, I'm fucking excited to hear the rest of it. Like I said, I got one sneak peek. Rough mix. Sounds great. Sounds fucking awesome, and I'm excited to hear the rest of the album. I remember
Yeah,
way
no more clicky kick drum too. Get that
yeah,
shit
no
out of
more
here.
popcorn shit.
Oh my God, yeah. I will fully admit there was some things I did on the Martyr Approach to try and get liked by
by certain genres because we were playing shows at the time that were not really strictly black metal and stuff, and so like I was trying a couple things to try and get the modern scene into Beneath Purgatory, and no, fuck that. We're doing it how it should be, damn it. The production, we're gonna make sure it sounds good, but it's gonna sound like a fucking band. It's not gonna be over processed. Martyr Approach was a little too processed, low and thumpy kick drum, right? Guitars that have bite to it, but they've also got body and mid range. Stop scooping your guitars, damn it. Okay, the best tones in the world come from that 80s style that have all that body, that presence. Don't get that shit out of here. You scoop your guitars, scoop your eyeballs out too. All right. The bass is really, really full here. Ian gets a new tone on this record that just fits wonderfully, and it fits in with the guitars when it needs to. It sticks out when it needs to. Um, all of this culminates in an album that sounds very clear, and you can tell what's going on, but damn sure a band is playing this and it is not edited to the point of being like a computer. Because at that point, just AI generate your shit. And if you don't like AI generated art, you shouldn't like overprocessed art too.
That's a great way to put it. That is a great way to put it. Yeah, I'm excited to hear the shit. I'm excited to hear it all the way. Because I remember back when we did our first BP interview, it was like not too long after Martyr released, and you guys were already discussing the talks of a fifth album. But you said, "Yeah, we're gonna take our time. It's gonna probably be like a couple of years before we drop it." And here we are, almost 3 years later, almost 2.5, 2.5. Because that album released when did the album
Yeah.
release? In the summertime ish, or right before the summer?
End of June
End of
2023.
June. It was a whole rollout. It was the BP summer.
Yeah, it was a BP summer. Yeah,
I
this will
love
be.
that rollout.
Oh yeah, we've got a rollout that we're working on for this one. So don't worry. But uh, I can promise though, tune, no goofy subjects on this. Like we have been a goof band before. Like our Instagram kind of gives it away with all the joke posts and stuff like that. And like we still want to have fun. We still want to be have a personality, and that stuff obviously got us some recognition to where we're at. But we're taking stuff seriously too. Like we also like our music is going to be up to a higher level, a higher degree. We're not going to be cool with and complacent with, yeah, this is fine. We are making sure that this is going to be to the best quality that we can provide. So
Going for perfection.
oh yeah, and the early 26, earliest 26. We're hoping the first single could be out as early as January.
That would be fucking awesome. That's not too far away from now.
Oh shit! Ooh, we got to get going.
A couple of more months. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm fucking excited for this shit. I'm excited to see the future that is in store for Beneath Purgatory. Hopefully, I get to see you guys live at some point. Getting out to shows is fucking few and far between for me. It's fucking rough making it out there.
Yeah, we'll make sure the next show you come out to, we'll play Slay to the System in full.
Too so much.
Denver
I want
would
I want y'all to play Walking Dementia, but Nolan, I want you to shit your pants when you do it.
Yeah, the walking
yeah.
pneumonia poop pants.
Walking
Yeah,
pneumonia.
being
Why is it
told
dementia?
like enema up tills before the show.
Yeah,
Shit my pants on stage.
best way to prepare for a BP
Yeah.
set is Red Bull and laxatives.
Yeah, the G.G. Allen style.
Oh
Yeah.
god. Throwback to the last interview that we did with Steven. Go watch that. It's time stamped in there. The pants shitting incident.
Yeah, dude, I love looking at the timestamp like names on Circle Beneath interviews, and some of them I'm like, okay, I need context to this one, and I click it, and then it's like, yeah, pants shitting thing, or like phone fart noise or something. That was on one of the old Necralant interviews, so the phone was like, and yeah, I think you timestamped it. It was like,
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of our phones vibrated and it sounded like a fart.
yeah,
Dude, yeah, your timestamps crack me up, dude.
Yeah. Because I got a little lazy with it here and there, but like at first I was definitely like I was going through the entire thing. I was like, oh, this needs its own chapter. This needs its own like timestamp. This needs its own like, you know, because we ramble sometimes. We get a little off topic. Like this interview's already gone way beyond Psyche, but you know, Like half the interview was not Psyche. Like, but yeah, no, it's fucking awesome. And I love having you guys. You know, doing interviews with bands that I've heard of and I've listened to but never talked to are always a little more awkward. But when it's like with guys like you and we can just chop it up the entire fucking time, it's fucking great. It's fucking, I don't even know how long this does it tell me how long we've been recording for?
I mean, we hopped on
Doesn't.
here around 11, right?
Yeah, I don't even have the time on my phone.
Whatever. I mean, but like you're absolutely right though, dude. Like this is like, I mean, you're a day one for me, man. Like we've been doing this shit for a long time, and obviously, like you guys know each other for a long time. Well, Nolan and I have known each other for a long time. I mean, it just this is it's deeper than just local hoagies talk to local hoagie. Like no, this is like there's passion and shit behind this.
There
There's
is.
camaraderie around it, and I mean, God, you are the voice of the Worcester black metals of the New England black metal scene, man.
Stop! I'm cheesing right now. I gotta start getting back on my shit because I have all the videos in my phone. All I gotta do is throw it into my editor, chop it up, do all the edits I have to do. It is a full history of Beneath Purgatory.
Oh my
Full
God.
history, and that's just like
What?
like videos like I record like it's segmented because I can't talk fully without fucking up and stuttering and shit. But that's a whole thing. All I gotta do is just chop it up and edit it, and then
Oh my
it's
God,
literally
dude.
done. It's the
How
most
many?
good.
No, so how many IQ points did you lose trying to put all that together? Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know, but I also like that was like I don't know, it's like 16 minutes ish, I think. 16 minutes worth of videos. But I also had I stopped keeping track in sometime in 2023, but it was like the complete history of Upside. That
Ooh, yeah, I remember you were working on that.
that was super ambitious of me. I stopped working on it in like 2023, so there's been so much more history since, but oh my God, that in my notes on my notes app, it's fucking humongous. You scroll and you scroll and you scroll for days. It starts in 2016, ends in 2023, but it's about to be 2026, so I've missed a lot of history. Not missed, but haven't
Wow.
wrote it down.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
yeah,
you'll be able to go back and work through that.
yeah, if I
Um,
if I fucking feel like it. Fuck. Yeah, it was so much fun talking to you guys, and I can't wait to come back when the time comes for the new record because you already know we're
yeah,
gonna run it back again.
fuck yeah.
I'm
Yeah, it's
honored
been a
that.
pleasure.
Good.
I was gonna say, it's been a pleasure doing this interview. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Me too. And you have no idea how much I appreciate that you guys come to me to like do this shit. Like, until next time, guys, stay metal.
Stay brutal,
Oh,
stay morbid, stay fat Matt riffs,
stay New
more
England adjacent.
yeah, more swoop haircuts, more stretched earlobes.
People dying everywhere, spreading the disease. Negativity isn't the subject. Let's just point it on. Identity.